Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lady D, and this will be my weekly video, but this will be on the eclipse. So it's a solar eclipse that is happening on Thursday, which is the 20th of April, and it's going to be when it's at its maximum point will be at 2:16 here in Sydney. So if you are in Australia during the day, it's 2:16 p.m. You'll be able to see this eclipse. Also at the beginning of the week, on the 14th, we do have Venus, which is going to be squaring Saturn. This week's coming up. It is going to be a hard week with the planets. We have a lot of squares. We've got during the week, we've got a Venus square Jupiter. We've got it squaring Saturn. We've also got Mars squaring Chiron on the 18th. We've got so just before the eclipse. We've also got this week the Sun squaring Pluto too. It's going to be an intense, insane week that we're coming up ahead, along with this eclipse. This is the last week before Mercury goes in retrograde. So next weekend, Mercury will be going in retrograde. So anything you need to start, anything you need to get done, do it then. Otherwise, it's best to wait till after into May when it's finished. It goes for about 3 weeks. So what I'm getting, it's like, especially with this Mars that's squaring Chiron, I kind of feel like with this, it's like when you're going into these strong signs with Aries, I always say the bigger they are, the harder they fall, because these Aries is very strong. It's a very strong personality. It's a strong star sign. Chiron there, and I always feel like you can see with the Aries energy, when things happen to people of these that are very strong personalities, they take it very hard. So this can bring up a lot of war energy that's coming up here with Mars that's here, and plus that we've got the eclipse that's happening in Aries too. This is not a week where you want to gamble money away or take risks. It is a week of playing it safe. When we've got this square to Venus, I'm born with this transit. I'm actually born with Venus square Saturn, so I know what it's like to live with that transit in my natal chart. So it's a transit of a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. It's about not giving up and getting things done. I'm lucky I have a Capricorn moon and I'm an Aquarian, so that also helps me to get through it as well. But it is very much, you can't just be like, poor me, poor me. It is very easy this week to go in this victim mentality of poor me and wanting to give up. But you can't, because the people who keep pushing and keep pushing and keep going are the ones who are going to make it through the best of this week, who are going to strive and find that doors will finally open up that they've been maybe trying for so long to give it a push. So it is very important this week to keep being determined, to keep pushing through, and to keep going. We could be dealing with a lot of endings this week too, with this square with the Sun and Pluto. So we could be doing some sort of ending that's happening this week too, or big transformation that is going to be with that. But I just can't be careful of money, okay? And it could even feel like you're not moving anywhere, like you feel like you're really trying to get somewhere, but nothing is moving for you. It is like no blame game. We can't blame other people. You got to take your own responsibility for what's happening this week. And it is overcoming your fear. With this square is Pluto. It is about overcoming your fear. So it's facing your fears, overcoming your fears. It is like that. I know for myself, there's certain things I'm afraid of heights. So that is something I have yet to accomplish. But like I will go on certain like roller coaster rides. I just close my eyes. My sister often laughs at me, but like I wouldn't climb the Hutt Bridge, just say, because of the height difference. But it is about overcoming your fears. But other things are like talking in front of people, making videos like I do now. This is something that years ago I probably would be very nervous in doing and putting it out there. So it is about overcoming them, and people that do this work is going to be the ones that come in. With these here, we've got the and with the placement of the planets too, we got this Pluto that's on that that cusp. It's in that 0 degrees Aquarius. We've still got about a couple of months of that, and then it's going to go back into Capricorn. We've got the Saturn that's in Pisces. So as we can see, that's been coming up here in the news about I think the Dalai Lama with that young boy. That is Saturn in Pisces. So we're going to have more problems coming up with spirituality, with religion. This very well could even be the death of religion when we've got Neptune here. Neptune, it is ruled by Pisces, so I always say it's delusion. But I actually read Neptune as a dissolve. So being it here in Pisces, there could be a dissolve here of religion, could potentially coming up. And then we've got the thing with the Chiron here. With Chiron, we are looking at the emotional pain, and we're dealing with leaderships in Aries too. So that's going to be coming up this week, I feel like, with this eclipse that's showing here, that's coming up in this. It is going to be in the last degrees of Aries when it comes in. Even just coming into Taurus with this eclipse that's coming in here. And then we've got Mercury. It's getting so close to Mercury. It won't actually conjunct because it'll be going retrograde before it can conjunct with Uranus, but you might get some unexpected communication coming in. And it even could be this problem that we have the square with Saturn. This even could be to do with your networks. It would be good to do like what you're trying to learn, or like a lesson in learning. It could be about certain social situations too, where problems are coming up in social situations as well, because we've got Venus that's in Gemini. Gemini's are very social people. So we got a lot going on, and then we have that Mars that is in Cancer, which is already struggling in Cancer. Mars is a very direct, determined sign, and Cancer is more about, I want to stay at home, and I want to be a bit of a homebody. I want to be a nurturer, but Mars is very much an activator. They want to go, want to do something, let's get it done now. So it is going to be a push and pull this week. And with this eclipse energy, it can bring you new beginnings because we are dealing with the first house. So it is with Aries, it is you, it's your body. And I was getting that it could be new beginnings or new adventures coming up for people. And when we are dealing with eclipses, it can take up to 6 months to take effect. And it's about revealing. So something gets revealed to us from eclipses. So when I was looking in my book here, today I was looking in my book about eclipses to just see what it was saying about it. And it was, I just had the eclipse. So an eclipse is like lunar tide. It draws to the surface all that has been hidden and makes manifest shadows energies. At a time when intuition and insights can emerge, it can be extremely positive. Eclipse effects are either personal or the collective. So we're going to be either way. Personal in your chart, wherever Aries is in your chart, and you'll have to know your time of birth to find that out. The collective, meaning the world. The collective, we're going to be looking at leaders. We're going to be looking at people like themselves as a collective too. And to me, Aries is more like it is a leadership. So it's more about and a strong and warlike energy too. So there's more things coming up too. The personal occurs when something in the natal chart is triggered, giving a rise to unexpected situations that have a personal effect. The collective effect is seen through the events of in the outside world. So there is going to be a revealing of something that's going to be coming up here. I feel like it's to do with like leaders. Now this eclipse is also going to be hitting Australia, the top end of Australia, and also like sort of the South Pacific, Indo-Pacific. So we are dealing with changes and things happening in there. The eclipse that I last remember that was hitting Australia was right before lockdown. It was right like sort of May, before we went into that big lockdown. The eclipse happened, and I was like, oh, the eclipse, okay. So we'll have to see what happens this one, but it's going to affect more the top end. And there are some stuff already going on there where they are needing a leadership, and they are needing, especially in Alice Springs. So this could be revealing big things for that area, because it's more like that very top part. And it could be a government's being exposed with this. I was getting something about the governments too. Make you question of what you want and what is important. So this is going to be emotionally intense that I was getting here. Be your best self and don't hide. So in the stock market may crash this week too. When we have these aspects with Venus, Venus is not only relationships, it is money as well. The eclipses do also affect stock market. Surprisingly enough, you do take effect. So we might see another crash. But shine a light on the world's leaders, good and bad things. But as I always said with this Chiron here in Aries, we don't have any good leaders. We haven't had, or a leader that everyone loves, everyone thinks is really, really good. Because when you look at Trump, people really like him or they really hate him. And other leaders of the world, there's no one that stands out. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's a really good leader. Big moves will be made around the world. It's not a good time to waste time. As I said, get things done. We've only got a week now before Mercury goes into retrograde. Know your boundaries, because people will tend to cross over the line. So people are going to push your buttons this week. They are going to overcross boundaries this week too. So we got here, they might overstep the mark. Bring more protesters, angry around the world. So protesters may come out. People's anger are going to get the best of them. And it is going to be like a fiery world. I was also getting that could be like earthquakes. And then with that, I was also getting like tides, so maybe like a tsunami or high tides maybe coming this week too. And I already had a lot of earthquakes, but I just feel like there's more that's going to be triggered, but it's also to do with the water I was getting to this week. And I was getting chaos around the world. There's going to be a lot of chaos energy that is coming up this week too. It's got here, France under pressure, so more things with France are coming up here being under pressure. And I think that I think I said last week, thinking about in my Europe predictions that I predicted this when I was seeing that their leader in a room being locked up and everyone trying to get to him. There's more under pressure there. I was thinking that Bitcoin could go up this week. I have a feeling that might go up this week. Things you didn't see coming are going to happen. So things you didn't think can happen this week. People looking to find themselves, because we're doing Aries, like people are trying to see where they are, because it is you and it's your body. So there's a lot of self-reflection, self-worth, but not letting things get the better of you as well. So it's going to be a really interesting week, but I also feel like there's something going to be coming up with our Prime Minister here in Australia, or I kind of feel like he's going to be exposed, or there's cracks forming in the surface with him. And I feel like they're really pushing this voice to Parliament. I keep on getting that it's going to be squashed, and like I hope that I am right with that too, because I don't have a good feeling with the government that we have here as well. But I do feel like that he will be pushed out eventually too. So let's look at the cards for the week and to see where we're going. Also with relationships, don't gamble with relationships this week. Do not play around. If you're someone who has like 4 or 5 relationships going at one time, probably not going to go well for you this week. You want to make sure your relationship is very intentional, that you're who you're with, and not with them for the sake of being lonely or sake of being with them. These relationships are going to be flushed out, is what I feel. So, and you might even feel like vulnerable this week, because it's a week where you're feeling really vulnerable, where your fears are coming up and you can feel really vulnerable this week. So let's see here. I just feel there's a lot of shocks. There's a lot of shocks. People are going to be like, what? That happened? I just feel like there's going to be a lot of shocks that are coming up. Okay, let's have a look at the cards. What's coming up for the week ahead, and with this solar eclipse energy? Could be shocks with Biden and Trump. I don't see Trump budging. I don't see him budging. Okay. There's going to be, I do feel like there is a lot of success and achievement to be made, but again, it's for those people who are doing the work that they want and the hard work that these people already planned out what they're doing. They know exactly where they're up to in life. Those people are very sure of themselves. I feel like they're going to be really good. I do feel like there's going to be really unexpected things that are coming in too. and it is not a time, it's not a week to just stay in bed or keep your head under the sand. It is not a time for that. It is a time of just trying to be very sure of yourself. Let's have a look here. It's going to be a week too where people are walking away. People are walking away from anything that's very like distractional, with things that are no use to them any longer, with people and with things that are really not on par to get where they want to go. I feel like there's going to be a lot of endings or being told to simply walking away. There's also going to be energy this week where people are going to be nervous. I feel like a bit of anxiety coming in because it's like what's going on with them too. But there's going to be others, I said, there's others who are dealing with a great success this week, who are dealing with really good surprises, that things coming in, and they've learned their lessons, they've been taught their value, and they're living their best self. But then there's others who feel like they're incredibly alone. There's a transformation around these people, and it is time for them, it's like to wake up for certain people too coming in. For those who are feeling like they've been crushed, where they feel like, and I feel like this is to do with the relationships, there could be a chance of new people coming in for you this week. It's like new surprises, new beginnings, but also I feel like it's very important that you need to know your self-worth or your self-value, and that you're going into a relationship with your best intentions, not just going in because, well, that person's just here and I don't want to be alone. I feel like that's very important. It is very important, I feel like, to stay in a line. There's a thing is kind of standing out to me. It's about staying in a line, being centered, no matter what chaotic is and what's going on around you. I do feel like there's some big issues here with money this week. Be careful of money, but I still see Bitcoin going up. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do see that going up, and I know it has gone up a little bit too. But we could see like sort of a big contract being torn up this week as well. We need to be careful about, just like with saying about France, need to be careful of France. I don't trust France anymore. Not that I was a big, I can't believe the messages, I just see France and I like don't trust France. So I don't know what's going on there. It's not the people, it's more about their leader. Because I just feel like he's making deals and he's going behind the scenes and making certain deals this week too. But there's going to be big reveals that are coming up this week, I do feel, especially when we're going towards this eclipse. And it can take 6 months for this eclipse to even activate in your own chart. It could be a good surprise. I remember one eclipse we had in 2019, I think it was. We had an eclipse in my 10th house, which my career, got a new job within that 6 months. So it was a good thing. But I did have Jupiter also going into that 10th house. So look in your own chart, see where it hits to give yourself a better accurate reading, so you know what to look at in your own life to what's coming on. And even the same as with your chart, when you look at different squares, you want to look where Saturn is in your chart and where Venus is, for instance. It's going to give you a feeling of, where there can be things that are going to pop up with you as well. Okay, so now I'm going to do a channel, and but again, no wasting time. There's a thing about here with the cards too. Do not waste your time this week. Just try and get as much as you can done. Okay. Channel for the eclipse that's coming. This eclipse is going to be a really big eclipse, and big surprises, good and bad, for all of you. Some will find this eclipse very intense and amazed with wonder with how the brightness will be lighting, shining above you all. For others will be disappointed, for you feel like the near is coming and there's something big to be revealed to you, and when it does, it is not what you expected. For these shocks and surprises that come into your life are all meant to be. You're all meant to react in a certain way. That is just the way that life is, and the way that life has planned it, and the way that your soul has planned your life too, so that it can evolve into something bigger. Be prepared to get your socks blown with what is about to happen, with the intents with China and even with France about to come together to be forming as one powerhouse, along with Russia. There will be worldly events that you'll all be surprised. While Australia will be exposed, for the leadership that has been there will be in ruins and tatters, for they'll be exposed for the pointless people that they are. In other countries, you're going to start ramping up. In America, you're about to face the biggest trouble you have with your leaderships and with what's coming up. People are not happy there, and there will be things that are being exposed. People are really wanting their justice, people are wanting their country back, and people are willing to fight for what they want, and even their self-worth and their pride to make that country good again. The value of money and the currency that you all have and that you all know is about to change as well. You all have signs of this and have been glimpses of this, but now's the time to start being prepared for what is going to happen with the world's finances. It is in chaos, and there are things about to happen which will soon be revealed to you. For next June, things are going to be a really downturn, and that time will be too late. You have now until January to get prepared for the financial crash that is about to happen, which is about to affect all of you, every one of you. So it is now time to be prepared. This is not a warning. We are just letting you know to be prepared. Okay. That was a very intense channel. Okay, so let's now do some cards. Okay, I'm going to do this. So we'll do the 4 cards quickly. So let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So card number 1, which is this card here, there's going to be an ending coming up for you this week. This card to me is about an ending, a death. So to me it's more about ending. So it is time to have an exit plan, strategy. You're going to know, I feel like, by the beginning of the week, you know what this is going to be about. And by the end of the week, you're actually glad that this thing has ended. And it's like a relief has come up with this. So this is not a bad ending. And I feel like with this ending comes with a new beginning. And it's like about looking on the bright side of life too. Always look on the bright side of life. And I feel that's what's going to happen with this. And it's like something is not finished. You've got to finish something or finish what you start. And this week it is about going over projects that you haven't finished, because you do need to finish them. Is what I feel too with this card. Card number 2, this card here. You're at wars with someone. You're in fighting mode. You're really wanting it to be over. You're just protecting yourself. You're protecting your vulnerability. You're also protecting your pride. And you're not letting anyone get in the better of you this week. You're really like an upset anxiety, upset stomach here. It's like, but it's up to you. You need to be the one that steps forward to be able to win the battle that's up here. Card number 3, just this card here. You are going to have to face your fears with this card. With this card, it's about you facing your fears, and yes, it can be quite scary, but it's a mask. The person or the fear that you've got, it's just a mask. There is something underneath it that you're going to find that is truly great, and it's not as scary as you think. It is about having to be very calm, teaching yourself how to be patient, and it's like things are looking a bit murky, or you can't see things very clearly, but at the end of the week, things are going to seem quite brighter for you as well. And do not be scared of things ending or death or your fears. Don't be scared of them. And then card number 4, just this card here. With this card here, there's about creating a balance. But you're also on your guard, because there is someone around you who may not be true, who may not be on your side, and you're really watching your back, or you're watching them. There is about wishes. The stars are standing out to me with this card. So it is about your wishes too. And you're going to hear something about what have you been really wanting to hear from, or wishes. There's some sort of sign with that too. But it's like very much a week of keeping everything in line and in balance too. And it's like what you're looking for is getting closer to you as well. Okay, so that's my weekly video for today. I am trying to start a podcast. I am really trying to get it done this week. I have asked a friend. So one friend was going to, and she couldn't do it. So I've asked another friend. So she's agreed to it. If I can't get her, I'll get another one. But I really want to record a podcast to go more deeper in astrology, and to talk about all things astrology and spiritual. and I'm determined to get it started before the retrograde as well. I am also still trying to organize the platform too. I've not had time to ring up the venue back up this week, and I am going to really be determined to ring them on Monday to get back at them. Just plan that for you as well. I have joined PayTV. The prices on that, it is quite pricey, so it is, I'd say, recommend just to come through me for readings, but you can also go through there for readings to get to see me as well. I'm still at the shop at Camden during the weekend Saturdays, so Thursday, Wednesdays and Saturdays at Camden. If you are in that area and available there, you can book online for that shop too. And I think that is it, what I am up to for the week as well. It has been a busy week, and I just feel everyone just needs to try and relax the best they can, let things just happen. We're aware of the astrology, so we are aware of things happening. Just let things play out and let things see, and then deal with them. That's all you can do. But I do feel like it's going to be a bit of a chaotic, intense week that's coming up ahead. All right, thank you for your likes, shares and comments. I've also started researching on the chart of Prince Charles, and I didn't get a chance to do that on the long weekend. I am hoping to get it done this week, or I do have another kind of a long weekendish that is happening next weekend too. Because I'm actually also going to be at Mingara on Sunday at that fair. Which is a psychic fair at Mingara, which is the Central Coast. So if you are up the Central Coast, I will be there doing readings. I'll also be selling cookies and some cupcakes as well. So I usually used to do that before the pandemic. So I will be there on Sunday. So I'm actually working every weekday this week, trying to get things fitted in. That's what I do. See, when you got that square, you got to be determined, and you just got to keep pushing through to get the results that you need. Thank you for your likes, shares and your comments, and I will see you for my next video. So bye for now.